I'm Kaya Simone and welcome to my commentary lifestyle review channel. Today I'll be talking about season 3 of Love is Blind, recapping episodes 5 through 7. If you are new here, please subscribe. I'm trying to get more into reality content because it's something I do decompress from my stressful job, and I just love reality competition shows. I consider Love is Blind a reality competition shows because we are competing for love. If you didn't see my last recapping episodes 1 through 4, I'm going to link it up here. Give that a watch. I did something a little bit different where I had more of a video overlay of content. I think it's doing okay-ish. So if you wanted to check it out, please check it out. We'd greatly appreciate a like and a comment. Enough about that. Let's get into a recap of episodes 5 through 7. We left off at episode 4 of Bartise having the literal nerve to tell Nancy that yeah, Raven's exactly what I would have liked. She's fitness, she's fit. Nancy is fit. Maybe she's 5'2", but she's fit. And it confounds me sometimes. And I was just thinking recently how much society has made me think that I am fat. I have been fat. I am not fat now. But the way that these men are acting, it's insane. It's insane. We have Cole, I'm jumping, but we have Cole and Zainab. Zainab, gorgeous girl. And he's telling her she's not pretty because she's not basically a white girl. And I just find it so absurd. I just find it so absurd.
I would peg you with someone that looks like Colleen.
Exactly.
Love is Blind. I'm digressing. I always digress. But Love is Blind portrays itself as something as being, we are here to find out if love is blind. And I get that attraction is a big factor. But these women aren't unattractive. Most women aren't unattractive. But I feel so much of how men, don't get me wrong, women have this issue too, but how men see attraction, it's also what will other people think of me being with this person. I feel that plays a large factor in why men find some women attractive versus the other. It could be both of these men have slept with their fiancés at this point. So it's how unattractive can you really find me if you're willing to do that? And if you don't, do you not think? Are you not thinking about your actions? Are you not, what is going on there? So that's why I believe that it's the outward perception of who are they pulling, who are they gaining, I'm getting Nancy, but I could be someone else, it's very outwardly facing.
Honestly, I was kind of surprised that she was on the top of your list. She's a little negative.
Nancy is going on about how she found the fact that Raven was Bartise's top choice in the pods honestly absurd, because she's it doesn't make sense to me. We have such a strong emotional connection. We're able to talk about this or that, but my experience living with Raven for 10 days constantly is that she's very superficial, kind of vapid. So it's surprising to me that she was your second choice, knowing that you met me. How does that work? And Bartise says, well, we had a lot in common. We have fitness. And it's okay, that's it. That is it. Think about that for a second. Yes, it's important, but so it's definitely the producer set this up because they decided to have a pool party. So all the couples are at the pool party again. I don't think they did this in season 2. There was a picnic that they did back when they were back home, but there was a secondary event. But in this case, they did because they were we have to explore some drama. So everyone's chitting and everyone's chatting and everyone's having a good time. You know what Bartise does? Bartise his way over to Raven.
She probably a baddie, and then I saw you walk down. That's kind of damn, yeah, fuck, she's a good-looking girl.
And Raven's yeah, and he's if we had met you in another, in the real world, we both those kind of people that other people would approach us. And she's yeah, and basically he's you're so good looking and you're attractive, I'm attractive, we should be together. And she cuts him off, thinking because Raven's well, we both found people who are right for us, looks are great, but we didn't have anything in common outside of fitness. Yes, snaps Raven. This moment I was yes, girl, yes, you are right, you are definitely right. So thank Lord baby Jesus that you've said this. So everyone's all around the pool, Colleen and Cole. But Cole goes and tells Colleen, you know, like maybe in like another world or somewhere else, like we could have like been together. You're definitely like my type. And Colleen's like, yeah, you know, maybe if we hadn't been in the pods, this could have worked. But basically, she's like, yes, you're cute, but it didn't work out between us, you know? Like, there's more to relationships than just looks, you know? Like, they're important, but they're not the end all be all. Raven and SK are slowly building their physical connection. So they have the emotional connection. They know each other. But that's the thing about Love is Blind, is that your emotional connection is so strong. And so sometimes to get that ramp up to that physical attraction can take time. And like, I'm believing, I feel like their relationship is very accurate. Like, yes, it's great. Those people have those connections like right out the pods, both physically and romantically, but more realistic. And even in my case, I feel like you might need that build up to happen. Boy Bartise Bartoswada has the nerve to, after the pole dance, go to Nancy and be like, hey, so how do you think, you know, Raven and SK are doing? Like, I would never have seen them together. And Nancy's just like, and she's like, well, they seem fine together. I guess, you know, if they chose that, you know, like, why are you bringing it up? She's like, I'm just like, shut it down. She has the patience of a god. Alex and Brennan doing fine. I'll talk more about them a little bit later. Zainab and Cole. Zainab does something, baby girl, never do this. Never do this. I know I'm a 10. You might think I am not a 10. I know I am the 10 to the right person for me, and that's where the conversation ends and begins. If you don't think I'm a 10, go get yourself what you think is a 10. I have nothing to prove to you. I am very secure in that fact. I understand that some women are not, but best believe I am never going to be with a man that does not make me feel like a 10. So she asks him, and he's like, oh, you're definitely a 9 out of 10.
You're a 9 out of 10. But she's a 10 out of 10. I just don't know if other women would receive that better than me.
But like, also it's like, she's like, I'm very insecure. It's okay. Like, and I feel like she's immediately invalidating her own feelings, which I don't like that she did that, because it gives him room to think that, okay, this is like, okay, now he's thinking it's her problem, not a problem that he's done anything wrong. You should call me a 10. You should call me a 10. Like, that's the only acceptable answer. It shouldn't be like, oh, you're a 7.2589 minus 3. No, that's it. I don't know how they're gonna come back from that. Personally, they have that love factor. So I feel like when you love someone, there's already so many red flags that you ignore it. So you just don't see those red flags until you're talking about issues or problems in your relationship or that kind of thing. I'm not hopeful at all. We end on what's going to be our overarching arc for the next 2 episodes. Probably going to, like, honestly, I think it was how we're going to get into in the season after the altar. Colleen and her honesty tells Matt that, hey, in the pools I have a conversation with, you know, Cole, one of my little fun little exes, about like if we were met outside the pods, maybe we would date. And what Matt hears, that if we weren't in the pods, what happened. You know, he takes it away like, if in another world, if we're just going by looks and attraction, Colleen would have just immediately chose Cole, but that's not what happened, you know? And he is so upset. He is enraged. And I'm just like, okay, cool. If we had 2 toxic men, we have another one. We have a third. So fun. So do not envy any of these women. At first, I was like, I wish I would be on the season. Like I said, I said in my last video, but I just moved here. Just moved to New York from Dallas, and it's like I could have totally been on this show. I think it would have been fabuloso. But like, these would have been my men. Actually, maybe they wouldn't have been, since they have 40 to 50. Maybe my guy was in the other 40, you know, like maybe. So, you know, it's fine. But that's where we end episode 5. Episode 6. This is Return to Reality. So this is the episode, or part of the show, where they move from their honeymoon phase and go back to Dallas. And Love is Blind is so nice and kind, is that they set them up with apartments all in the same building, which, well, I'll get it back into, because it plays a key part of the storyline. We have Alex and Brennan, who, like, again, cute, lovely. But one of the things here is that Alex is a shopper girl. She's like that girl. She's expensive and like everything. What it's like the TikTok, everything expensive, everything money, everything Gucci. It's not that at all, but something like that. That's who Alex is. And Brendan's like, my clothes, he's like, my clothes can take up like a tenth of this closet. He's like, oh, that's fine. That's fine. So I'm like, okay, so we'll see how that wealth disparity goes for them. Colleen and Matt, they're like, yeah, things are good now. Like, we talked it out. We're good. He's understanding that point. I'm like, okay, sure, babes, sure, babes. And we have Zainab and Cole. So with Zainab and Cole, we find out that Cole's parents are not okay with the process, and she probably won't be meeting them. So end of this episode, the next episode, they meet the families. Cole, it's just like, yeah, they're just not okay with the process. And like, you know, I was raised up like super religious, and I did that whole super fun thing where like I met a woman and married her after like dating her for 2 months, and you know, we broke up after 6 months. So I was like, they're a little sketch. Well, I'm like, yeah, sir, you already got married and divorced. Your parents might not just be all gung-ho about you just jumping in with even less information for a spouse. Zainab's not feeling this. We eventually learn that Zainab actually became orphaned at the age of like 6, lost both of her parents, was into being raised by her stepmom up into adulthood. So family is very important to her, and having that connection of ties. So it's very concerning for her because she wanted to have like that family unit. She loves her stepmom, don't get me wrong, but that was like the additional unit that she really appreciated. SK and Raven, bruh. Raven is like, she's not about the struggle life. Raven is not about the struggle life, which I love. But there's a coffee maker and Raven doesn't know how to use it. And like the way that they frame it, Raven fully expects that SK is gonna immediately jump into, oh, I got you, babe. I got you. You need coffee? Let me try to make it work. SK just minds his business. He's like, she didn't say nothing, you know, chill. She's an adult. Of course she needs a coffee maker. And eventually it's like, okay, we'll just go get coffee. And he's like, ah, sure, let's go do it. So Nancy takes Bartise to one of her income properties. Nancy's in real estate, buys everything all cash money. Like, this girl ain't got debt like that. That's not her pocket. And she's like, this is my property. She's like, I would put like $100,000 into it. Hopefully by the time we sell it, probably $6,000-7,000 a month. And I'm like, babes, like, where in Dallas is this home? Like, it's cute, but I'm like, where? Well, that's how much money we're paying. I was thinking about buying a house this year. I was not. And the $6,000 to $7,000 a month to buy a house. Nancy tells Bartise that she has some properties with her ex, and sometimes he stays in the rental properties. And Bartise like, what? Wait, what? I thought you said you guys didn't own anything together. She's like, oh, well, you know, we have a mortgage on this. He's like, what? But you know what Nancy does say? The way I view things is that, like, what is mine is ours, you know, like once we're married. And Bart's like, oh, okay.
Holy shit, yeah. I would love to be a part of that and kind of grow our financial success together.
And he's like, yeah, I don't make that much money, but like, love to know that she's more developed and can make that money and that cash money. So we love. And I'm like, I wish Nancy had not said that on screen, because even at the show, Bartise and Nancy are gonna fail. Like, I see the Instagrams, they're still following each other, they're still posting other stuff, and I'm like, not discounting that they didn't work through stuff, but I don't think they're together at the after the altar. I just don't see it. SK and Raven meet SK's family. SK's mother is like so cute. She's so adorable. She's like, yeah, like, I'm so excited for the process. We will not be meeting Raven's family at all because they're not okay with the process. We do meet her 2 friends who meet SK, but they're garbage. I won't talk about. They're just so disrespectful and unsupportive. Like, you're with him, like, and it's like, girls, love is blind, babes, not love is narcissistic. But back to like meeting SK's parents, like mother, of course, and brothers. Like, again, obsessed. The one thing that the mother is hesitant about is the fact that Raven's parents aren't going to be involved with the process. And as a Nigerian family, it's really, really big for them to be involved at both sides of the family. Raven is a little slightly disrespectful about like the food and culture. But like, not too bad, but not as much as I would like. Nancy, Bartise go to Nancy's house and they meet. Her parents are separated, but they meet meet her brothers and her father. And one of her brothers asked Bartise, so what'd you do if Nancy was 400 pounds? Like, how would that work?
If you were to gain 400 pounds, would you still love her?
I feel like this is a planted question, or like maybe Nancy had raised it as a concern, because like I'm not just gonna meet someone like, so what would happen if the person you're with gained basically more than doubled their weight? How would you feel?
So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you physical attraction doesn't mean anything.
I don't think that's a fair question. I think you can love someone through sickness and health, but I do believe if you do enter into a union with someone with a certain expectation of how they are. If you meet when I'm fat, you should love me regardless. But to gain a significant amount of weight, because that also ties back to a lot of things, right? People aren't just gaining 200 pounds overnight. It's a whole lifestyle change that happens. It's not working out, maybe you were before, it's eating worse, it is maybe more so depressive state. So there's a lot more things that happen to get there. So I don't know it's entirely a fair question. Just like, would you still love this person if they gain weight? I don't think that's fair. Would I still love this person if they got burned in a fire? Yes. Would I still love them if they lost their job? Yes. Would I still love this person if they got a crack cocaine addiction? Probably not, because they're a different person than when I initially met them. You know, it just have to like use some context. Nancy's mom though, she's like, I own a bail bonds agency. Those bail bonds places in like South Dallas, if you're ever in Dallas on that street, I've never been to bail bond agency, but yeah, Nancy's mother's basically, yeah, don't disrespect her, I can cut a bitch. And I'm like, girl, you got your knives ready, let's go. You might have to use them with this.
You know, marriage is not a joke. I can tell from your eyes if you're lying.
Alex and Brennan meet Brennan meets Alex's parents in the house, and they got money. It is clear as day. There are like 20 people in this household just here, and I'm like, wow, power to you. So Alex is Jewish, but she is Israeli, and so they identify more as Israeli per se versus Jewish. So they're culturally Jewish, but it's an interesting thing. One of my good friends, Hannah, if you're watching, I'll make you watch this. She is Jewish, but half Israeli. I have not been recording this time, guys, so I'm upset, so I have to redo this. Raven says something mildly absurd while talking to SK.
For my life, like, I definitely don't want my quality of living to suffer.
And it's basically like, when I got married, I thought my life would improve. So even though you're in grad school for engineering, where you'll be making buku money, I want to make sure that you support me while I'm still here in Texas. At least have. She's like, it's expensive to be me, nails, hair did. I'm like, yeah, I get it, girl, but like, be real, be FFR. I'm a millennial, okay? I'm not the best at sometimes the lingo. But we're about to close out this episode. Nancy have a really, really important conversation. So one of my fun questions I like to ask people, most people don't think it's fun, this is not fun. I like to ask you, what's your view on abortion? It's just something I need to know. I need to know how you think of it. I found some people will be immediately, yeah, pro-choice, pro-woman, whatever. And some people are like, well, I'm pro-choice, but, and some people are like, heck no. I have my views on it, which I won't go into, but it's really important for me to hear how you think about the answer, because it tells me how informed you are, how educated. Are you blindly saying something, or is it actually what you believe in?
I just want to love that kid no matter what. 3 legs, whatever it comes out is like gonna be our kid.
Yeah.
So one of the things that comes up when Nancy and Bartise are talking, she's like, well, as someone who works in speech pathology, I've met a lot of kids who have disabilities, and I know how hard and difficult it is on the parents. My mom is a recently retired, go mom, love ya. She was a life skills and special ed teacher. So she had kids who were like in 5th grade, so in wheelchairs, she had to go to the bathroom to wipe them. Like, it was a hard job for her, and she just saw them those 8 hours during the day. And she also knew that the parents also struggled. Some of them weren't inept to pay for them. My mom taught at a public school. So those parents often didn't have the resources sometimes in some cases outside of like federal government aid to support those kids. So it is a permanent, lifelong struggle. I guess one of my great aunts. Like I have a cousin. We love her. She has special needs, and she is in her 40s, I think 50s, still living with them, and they've always had to take care of her. And when they pass, like her cousin, her sister will have to take care of them. There's a lifelong commitment that comes with taking care of a special needs kid.
I'm mentally tough enough to handle whatever challenge that may present, and I just could never pull the plug like that.
Yeah.
Nancy says she doesn't want to go through that struggle, so if she checked, she'd want to abort the child. Bartise is not having it. He's like, maybe if you're young, you make a mistake, you can have one, but the idea that we would abort our child, who we know is disabled, doesn't sit right with him. And he also goes about talking like buying a lot of Plan Bs, so he's so concerned about that. And it's like, sir, pick a lane. You can't be pro Plan Bs and also anti-abortion. I'm not happy about the conversation that either of them have. Like, Nancy feels a little bit not ableist per se. You have the right. I'm not saying you don't have the right to, but if you're in the financial position to be able to take care of the child, even if they have that and you want one, I mean, like, I'm not getting to my own personal feelings. You can let me know in comments your own views on abortion if you wish. I wasn't too happy about how either of them was talking about this, but I feel like it was a big point that maybe it's something that I would immediately have talked to about someone on the pods. Like, there was no way I'm getting to know you talking to you like for 40 plus hours and we're not talking about our views on abortion and very fundamental things like that, because they're not conversations you can talk about later or convince someone, you know? Like, and that's how we end episode 6. Episode 7 is called Impress the Parents. It's a continuation of last episode. Don't know why they didn't just splice it and make it one full parent episode. Zainab finally goes to Cole's actual apartment, and this apartment is a freaking mess. Like, the toilet has flies in it. There's dirty dishes in the sink, and I'm like, how much did he leave like this before he went on Love Is Blind? Or in the 2 days he was back home, did this all happen? And I'm really getting the vibes that Zainab's gonna have to baby this man. And I'm like, we're not in that business. I am not in the business of teaching anyone. If you want to, you can. I'm just not in that business. I'm sorry. I'm not. Like, if you are, more power to you, but we're not. Bartise has his parents come over and they meet Nancy. Things are going all great and fine, but then just like out of pocket, Bartise mentions the fact that Nancy would not have a baby if they had special needs. Everyone's upset. Mom's upset. Dad's upset. Sister starts crying. I'm stunned, and from the inner discourse I've seen on the internet, we're all just kind of confused for the overwhelming amount of emotion that the sister has brought on. It's like, okay, has she has an abortion? Does she raising a special needs kid? But she's like, the thought and idea. I'm literally, you can watch the clip, okay? This is what she said. She's like, the thought and the idea that you could just not have a light. Like, I just could not imagine, like, not bringing a soul into this world. That was her. Nancy does her best to defend herself. Again, she's just like, you know, my struggle as a teacher, I mean, as a speech pathologist, and the struggle of families, but they're like, yeah, no, the parents aren't having it. But it's also like Bartisian, Bartisois, Bart Simpson. Why did you bring this up? Why would you bring this up the first time that your fiance is meeting your family? I don't get that. I don't think that was okay. We meet Brennan's family. Brennan's family's fine. They started from the bottom, now they're here. What the bottom was, they like Alex, but they're a little bit concerned that Alex might want a lifestyle that Brennan isn't or can't afford. So that's, I think, the big struggle with them right now is like their differing lifestyle choices and how that will actually come into play. We have another producer setup moment where all the people I don't know how many of them, but like past contestants on Love Is Blind from the pods come. They're all meet up at sundown at Granada, which is a spot I remember from in Dallas. It has really good Bloody Mary pictures, and they have a really nice indoor music space. Like, it's so cute. I like sundown at Granada. They have like events and stuff there. It's a vibe. If you're in Dallas, go visit it. highly recommend. And it's in Lower Greenville. Lower Greenville is so fun, so great. I think it's like a mid-age place, so a lot more people in like their late 20s, early 30s. There's like young college vibes, which is really nice. I'm just giving you a tour of Dallas right now. I'm like, yeah, go visit Dallas, because no one ever wants to. So people are coming there. So there's like 3-ish main things that happen. Bartise gets drunk off his ass. She's going to SK being like, yeah, how are you with this rave, blah 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 blah. Same old thing, annoying. Sir, calm down, you have a fiance, let the other man be happy. And Zainab and Cole aren't doing great still with the whole Colleen situation, but Colleen tries to clear up with, oh well, that's not what happened. Like, he came up to me, he said this, and I was just trying to be nice to him basically, but I wasn't engaging. And Zainab was like, that was very helpful. Now we're just playing like telephone. Zainab then talks to Matt about it, and Matt's like, yeah, she said whatever will be if it was another role. And Zainab's like, oh well, no, this is what I heard from Colleen, that's not what happened. And Matt's like, oh okay, this is what I heard. In my head, I just didn't hear anything else. I'm like, thank you, sir, for admitting it. Matt then goes to Cole and is like, why'd you say this to my girl? Cole, in his defense, owns up to it, but Matt's still really upset that the conversation even took place. And I'm like, we could have just had like a therapy session. I don't know if anything will ever be enough for him to be okay. Andrew is there, and this other black girl's name I do not know, but she's the only one who was shown. So I imagine she's probably one of the contestants whose stories got cut, or they were thinking about having her on. I would have appreciated a dark skinned girl in it. Again, I'm selfish about having my own representation. I'll take that to I will always be selfish about wanting black women and stuff. You can come fight me. I'll always mention it. Andrew's there, so Andrew decides to talk to Nancy. He's like, can I steal you for a sag? Can I steal for you a sag? And Nancy's like, oh yeah, sure. So they're talking, and he's like, do you regret it? And she's like, basically like, no, like, other girls thought you were so smart and stuff, but like, I just didn't get that from you, and I just didn't see why we could work personally. But some people think he was like being weird and like shady in this, but I thought he was just being kind and just was being more reserved and not wanting to force choices. And he was just like, so how are things going with Bartise? And she basically starts bawling and is like, yeah, he says I'm not attractive and like he wouldn't have chosen me. And she's like, basically he makes me feel bad about myself. Andrew's just like, I'm sorry to hear that, but like, I'm here if you need me. I was gonna marry you. I don't know, I thought he was being genuine. I don't think he was like playing it up for cameras or anything. Heck, he doesn't know he's gonna be filmed, you know? But Bartise comes over, steals Andrew's beer, and I'm like, what the freaky freak are you doing, sir? I'm very confounded. And he's like, what's going on here? And Nancy's just, Meaty stops crying, and I'm like, this girl has been abused before, and it's like a pro, because she acts like nothing happened so quickly. And I'm like, whew, girl, woo. That night ends. Andrew and SK, they're just being cute in the corner. They're just vibing, causing no harm. They're just doing. And okay, Alex and Bartise are having a conversation. Alex is like, yeah, she's like, yeah, me and Brandon are just banging left and right, Dallas to the wall. And it's like, okay, sure, I'm so positive. Go for it, girl. I don't know if I could talk to Bartise like that, but if you can, you do you, boo. You do boo. Nancy and Bartise get back to their apartment after the night out, and Nancy's just really upset. She's like, I don't know how I'll ever be good enough for you. You're always talking about Raven and what could have been. Like, if you want her, be with her, but I can't do this.
And I had to tell him, I was like, well, we're struggling with like the physical part of it.
Looks do fucking matter. It's not superficial of me to say. It's human nature of me to say looks fucking matter.
And they're having an argument. She's like, and Bartise is like, well, you know, I could have let all these things go if you weren't my physical type, but like the abortion stuff, your ex. And he's like, listen, he has facts.
The ex, he seems like he's more involved than he really is. Like, how much do you want to tell me? How much do I need to uncover by asking questions? And then it was the abortion and kids thing, and I was like, it was just a lot. It was a lot. I'm just trying to get over everything, but I can only get over so much.
Once someone has receipts on you and once they start keeping lists, it's over. Once someone's building their case for why you shouldn't be together, it's probably not a good sign, because usually what happens is, I'm in his defense, he did bring it up before the fact, but it's also like he's trying to prepare for he'll let her down, or also happens in these relationships. You know, people will break up and like, I never knew, and it's like, well, but you never told me. You know, you never told me, and yeah, I know I'm not with your physical type, but you never led me to believe that it wasn't something you were willing to overcome. And Matt's like, hey, do you know where Nancy? He's like, you're on speaker. Bartie's like, you're on speaker. He's like, Nancy, do you know where Colleen is? And Colleen's like, Nancy's like, I think they went to like the candle room, which is a club. I lived in Dallas 10 years. I never heard of this place. Mind you, it's like in North Dallas. I don't go up there, but it looks cute. I might go next time. Especially this where TV people are going.
Let me in. What the fuck's going on? Get the fuck inside. Sorry.
I told her I was going back to the apartment and she said...
Matt's freaking the F out. He's like, what is going on? Where is she? So Bartise is like, hold on, bro. Goes to his room, the next door, which I told you why it's important to know that they're all live in the same building.
And instead of coming back with me, she went to the fucking club.
But like Matt's ranting, he's like, I don't even know her. Like, how is she out on a Monday or Wednesday at 3 a.m.? Bars close at 2. I'm also confused about that, honestly. Like, maybe they reserved the place. It was a weekday, so they probably reserved the place. Because, like, it would have been closed. Like, no way this place was open. And Matt's like packing his clothes, and Bartie's like, he's like, calm down. He's like, I would be so fortunate if I were you. Like, you have been attracted to her from day one. I wish I had your problems.
Bro, you have had no problems with Colleen, the girl that you fucking love, a girl that you found attractive at the day that you fucking were revealed to her, okay?
It's like, everything looks clear on the outside, Bartise, but like, just calm down.
I would pay money to be in the situation you're in, okay?
But Matt's going off. He's off for real. He's fully enraged.
How do I know
Have
what
you
she's
not
like?
figured it out yet?
Honestly, I've only fucking seen her for
Okay.
a week and a half outside of the fairy tale fucking land.
And that's where we end episode 7 of Love is Blind. Alright guys, thank you for joining me for this recap. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please let me know down below your thoughts and opinions. And I'll be back here next week. Probably, maybe I'll do it this weekend if I have some time. This is past Halloween, so I didn't have that much time to sit down and record this. But yeah, please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Love you.